Hello everyone and welcome back to the JRPG series. In this episode we're going to work on our information bar. This is a bar that appears at the top of the screen that gives us information about the object that we've got selected, telling the player how to use it and when to use it. So let's begin. So we're going to go over to our UI and go into the unit battle HUD. And up top of the screen here we're going to put in our box for the information box. So we're going to search in the palette here for a border. And we're going to add that to the canvas panel. In this border, we're going to stretch it along the top here. So use this one over here. Now stretch it. Change the offset on the right here to 0. For now, anyway. And the size and the Y will make it 100. Okay. In fact, actually, let's make it a bit smaller. Let's make it 75. Okay. So in here, we're going to change the brush color to our standard black we've been using. And now I'm going to add some padding around it and offset it in. So on the offset left, you can do 150. Offset right, we'll do 150. And then we're going to position it on the Y here by, let's say, 50. Okay, and there is our information box ready to go. Inside there, we're going to add some text field. So let's drag in our text. So there's our text field. We're going to change the font here to match the rest of our game's font. And we're going to add some padding around this so that it has 10 padding everywhere. Okay, and I might as well make it also vertically aligned in the center. Now, what else we're going to have on here is we're going to have a little bit of text standing above it saying info or information. So with that border, I'm going to also wrap that text block with an overlay, and we're going to put in another text block inside of it. And this text block is going to say the word information, and it's going to be of that same font type. But the main thing that's different about this is I'm going to change its position and its size. So size wise, I'm going to change it down to like 16, let's say, and I'm then going to change its render transform in translation here in the Y negative values, and it should push it up like so. Let's say minus 30, and in the X here we're going to move that across to get roughly where we want it to be, right there. But minus, we'll say minus 25. Okay, so we get information box looking like this. Okay, so now we need to tell our text block to here to be variable. So here to be info text, and that would be variable. And we also want the whole thing to be variable because we want to hide it as well. So we're going to click on the border and change this to info box and tick is variable and hit compile. And go into the graph, and we go to the pre-construct is up here. And on the pre-construct here, we're going to drag in our info box get. We're also going to get the info text. Now, info text, we want to get the text that's on show. So get text, and we're going to see if it's equal to nothing or not. So if it is equal to, I'm going to choose make literal and equals to nothing. We're going to change the visibility of our box here, be invisible. So that'll be the box set visibility, and put that in. And then the invisibility here, we'll do select, and we're going to plug in food in there into the index. So if it's true and it is nothing, we want it to be hidden. And if it is false, and if it's false and it isn't hidden, has got information we want to show, we're going to change it from visible to hit testable, self and all children. So you can't click on it, you can't do anything like that. It's just going to be for display purposes only. Okay, and that's that bit done. File and save that. And on here, we're going to make a new function, and this function is going to be used to show information. So show information. And show information, we're going to have one input, and that's going to be the text we want to show. Text to show. And we're going to drag our info text here and set it text to this. Okay. And then we have to update the visibility of our thing. And for that, I'm just going to copy our set visibility and select node here. And we're going to do all of this actually. We'll do, we'll actually we just need the select node and the equals to and visibility stuff. Put that in there. So, pull this up. And we're going to add set visibility to our function. And the visibility it's going to check here is going to be based upon the text to show here. I'm going to drag this in and put that in the top. Then we'll make literal at the bottom. So if it is equal to nothing, it will make it hidden. If it's not equal to anything, it will equal not hit testable. And save that. So that will make it show. We now need to be able to time it out so it does disappear. Now, when it does that, we want to depend on various things. So at the moment, what I'm going to do is go to the event graph and we'll make it do it when we have return selected. So let's go to the close magic window. We'll call it here. So show information blank. I'll hide it there. We want to do it when we close hide targets and do that. Do show information, leave that blank there. And we also want to do it for the items. Information blank there. And we also want to say when the item has been chosen. We also want to do it there too. So show item. Put that there. And also for our magic. Ability's been chosen. Show information. Okay. Okay, and I think that's everything. Now, that's it for when we want to hide the thing. Well, then what about when we want to actually show the thing and show what text we want to show? So let's take a look at the items first. The items are probably the easiest one to show here. So we're going to go to the item window slot. And for this, we need to know when we're hovering over it and to reply that back to the HUD element itself to say, hey, we're doing something. So what I'm going to do is we're going to make a event dispatcher on here. And we call this one on hovered. And the input for this is going to be the item. And that'd be the item class. Item base class reference. And hit compile. And we're going to click on the button and go to the on hovered event. And we're going to do item, so on hovered, all this. And the item we want to plug in here will be item. However, we also want to do it when we unhover it. So we go to the button again and go to unhovered. And we're going to call the same thing out, but this time we're not going to plug in an item. Okay, so now we've got to work our way back up the chain here. So that's from the item window slot. Then go to item window. And in item window, we're going to go to the graph. So in here, we want to find where we're doing the bindings for the items, which are happening all at the end here. And we're going to take the value here and bind event to hovered and there. And drag out the event and do a custom event. And call this one item hovered. This will report back which item it was. We now need to send that back up again. So we're going to go to the event dispatchers and call this one item hovered. And, oh, maybe not, item on hovered. And new parameter here will be the item base class. Item. And we're going to drag that out and do call. And compile that and refresh this. That's up, haven't updated. We are. And that goes into there. And the last thing we need to do is go back up again the chain to the unit battle HUD. So now we can bind that event. So on the construct here, we're going to take the actually no, we'll go to the show item out here, so we've got all together, and from there we're going to take the item window and do bind event to item on hovered. Goes into there. Then I'm going to take the event from this and bind that to a custom event, and this one will be update hovered info. And with this item coming out of here, we're going to do is valid class, and if it is valid, we're going to put that into a branch, and if it's true, we're going to do show information, plug that in, and if it's false, we'll do show information. The difference being is that in the true, the text to show is going to come from the item class. So get the item class, get the class defaults, and take the item details and break those. And we take the item description from this and plug in text to show. Hit compile and save that. Now we've got this window that will hopefully show the information of the item that we hover over. So let's test this out. Go to items, go to potions, and you can see the potion there saying heal the target for a small amount of health. And it disappears when I go back over it. Okay. Now at the start of the game it showed up. That's because I forgot to take away the default text. So go to the design view, go to the default text and just remove it. I'll save. Okay, and then we're going to go to hit play again and just look at this. You see it's not on the screen now. Items, potions, and there you go. Healed the target for a small amount of health. Back, and that's it. So we can use it for other things as well. So we can do it for like damage, we can do it for healing, we can do it for stealing as well. So more on that when we go up to techniques. But info is a good way to give information to the character or the player based upon what they're doing. So they may not know what the spells do. So when they go in to select a certain spell, they can find out what it does before they actually cast it. Okay. So let's set this up to work with spells. So we're going to go to the spell item slot, or magic item slot, magic ability slot rather. And it can be exactly the same setup. So on the graph here, make another dispatcher, do on hovered. And this is going to output the ability. So magic ability. And that'll be the ability class. Magic base, sorry. Magic base. Class reference. And compile that. And we're going to make the on hovered event for the button. And we're going to make also the on hovered event unhovered, sorry. And we're going to call that on hovered. And for when we hover over it, we're going to plug in the ability. So on hovered, ability, on unhovered, nothing. Then we're going to go to the magic window. Graph. So on the clicked event here, we're going to go across to here, return value, and bind event on hovered. And plug that in, set up the custom event. And this one would be ability on hovered. And likewise, we'll make another event dispatcher, and we correspond ability on hovered. On hovered, I guess. Yep, there you go. And that'll have the input for the ability. Magic base class reference. This one ability. Compile and drag that out and do call, feeding it the ability that's getting it. and then we go to the unit battle HUD. Go to the graph, and like what we've done here for the show item menu, we're going to do it for the show magic menu. Over here, back out, find event to on hovered. Like so. And we're going to do from there, bind event, not bind event, sorry, custom event, and call this one ability hovered, and that gives us the ability. So we're then going to drag that out, and it's valid class. Put that into a branch, and then if it's false, we'll do show information, blank. True, we're going to do show information, but we're going to put in some information there. And the information is going to come from the ability. Now, currently, the ability doesn't have a description on it. So let's add the description to our magic base. Go to abilities, magic base. And on here, I'm going to add a description. Which is going to be a text field. I'll save that. And now if I go back to my unit battle HUD, I can drag the ability here, and I can get the class defaults. And from there, I can get the description, which I'll plug into there. Hide these pins. I won't hide them, but there you go. Let's give it some space here. It's getting a bit claustrophobic. Okay. Okay, and there's your ability hovered doing its job on the magics. So there, if I go to my various spells, so I go to black magic, go to fire rank 1 for example, and in the description here, deal fire damage to the target. I'm gonna call it actually deal a small amount. Of fire damage to the target, and I'm going to copy that, and we're going to use something similar for each of the others. Save that, ice, paste that in there, ice damage, I'll save, thunder damage, I'll save, and then we're going to go to the heal one. Here, and we'll set this one to say heal the target ally with a small amount of health. I'll save. So let's test that out with the magic abilities. So now I can see the various descriptions being told at the top. Oh, she doesn't have the ability to do anything else there, but that's fine. I think Greystone does, so we'll try it with Greystone. Magic, white. There's the cure. Not showing for some reason. Okay, we'll double check the white magic one. Why is that one not showing? Got that there. I'll save. White magic base is doing its job like normal. So the reason why it weren't working is if we go to magic window, we done it for the unclicked for black magic command. We have to do the same thing here for the white magic command. What to do there, and we'll do a create event for this. So I have to do it twice. Do create event, and we'll search for the ability on hovered. So I call the same thing here. Target is going to be the return value. I'll save that, and we can do a final test. See that working. So here we can see the black magic one's working just fine as expected. But if I tell them to attack target, get the Greystone, who has the health, I can then go to that one. There you have it. Heal the target ally with small amount of health. Perfect. And that brings us to the end of this episode. Thank you again for watching. In the next part, we're going to go through and set up the other items we want to use in here, such as grenades and others and other things like that. We're also going to be setting up the victory screen to award us those items at the end of the battle too. So join us at the next episode right now over on patreon.com/Ryan Laley. You can catch that episode plus many others before anyone else. I'll say a massive thank you to all my patrons and YouTube members for the continued support. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you all next time. Bye everyone.